Hi everyone, Bobby here and welcome to this video. This video is more of a kind of review in a sense, based on tyres. I don't normally do tyre reviews, but I have to do it on this one because I'm really let down by these new Goodyears. I'm a stickler for changing tyres. I hate doing it, and if I can avoid it, I will avoid changing tyres, because not for the fact that I don't want to change tyres. Obviously we will have to change tyres. Everyone lies. You go online and you read the reviews and say, oh yeah, these tyres are amazing, they're great, and it's like you buy them, you think, nah, why would you even say that? And half the time I think these people don't even know what they're talking about, so I start to wonder, do I believe them? And these online reviews, the websites like tyrereviews.co.uk, it's like, nah, half of them can't know what they're talking about, because I literally bought these based off of all the reviews and they are trash. They are absolutely awful. So I opted for the Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sports, which are apparently XL, so extra loading, but yeah, they're not XL, they're super soft. It's like driving on jelly. You get up to speed, and this is with tracking as checked and straight, so there's nothing wrong. Previously I'd come off of Redestein Vorti Plus, which I'd been using for Redesteins since back when they first started coming out, as in like the old Setentas. So I love those. I've been using them for so many years. I just happened to not be able to get them at a point in time, so I needed some kind of sharpish. So I decided between the Potenza Sports and the Goodyears, and I ended up for the Goodyears. I had used some Goodyears many years ago, which were I can't remember the exact coding on it. I think it's the Eagle F1, is it 3SDE or D3DSE? Basically, they're really, really good for the wet, and they had directional tread pan, so you could only use it on one side of the car. You couldn't flip them, they're not asymmetric at all. Yeah, so this review is basically on that. I will be writing a review based on this, but this is just, the tyres not great. Wet traction is shocking. I get better wet traction on the track day tyres, which are the Accelera 651 Sports, which are, by the way, a true XL, as in the sidewall is stiff. I can push the whole car on the Goodyears and the whole car shakes. It's so bad. My Vredesteins never did that. So driving on these is very, very unpredictable, because you'll go around the corner and it will roll, you'll feel the roll, and then all of a sudden it will want to try and grip something. It's like, well, where did that just come from? It's not predictable at all. There's no faith in it. Going around the roundabout at 30 miles an hour, or I actually slipped out at 20 miles an hour one time when it was slightly colder. Yeah, I understood. I had to let off and the front was just going, so I was like, okay. So I have no faith in these tyres. While they're meant to be a summer tyre, okay, I accept that they call it a summer tyre. I think they're meant to be an ultra high performance tyre as well, which, all these letters are getting a bit too much. Ultra high performance is just absurd now. My Vredesteins used to be classed as budget, because Vredestein weren't a premium tyre brand back then, but now they are a premium. I used to use them all year round, even in the winter when it snowed. Great, no traction problems at all. So yeah, unfortunately this has led me to this, because I don't want anyone else to have to deal with these tyres any more than I do. It's just a waste of money. They're not super sports, they're not even sporty in the remote. The only good thing that they've got about them is they have slightly better aquaplaning resistance than my track day tyres. Like, I can get up to 70 miles an hour when it's heavily raining on the track day tyres, and you know what? They just about start floating. These, you can probably get to about 75, maybe 80 if you want to, and they'll still aquaplane. There's no problems about that. So there's not much difference in that. These can solidly wet brake, and bearing in mind I'm on big brakes with DS 2500 pads, I can't break traction on these in the wet while I'm braking heavy, and I can even, my hazards come on because that's what modern cars do. These, I lock up. They just do not grip at all. It's just so bad. Acceleration, doesn't matter if it's wet or dry, but wet obviously is worse. I can wheel spin actually in fourth in wet, and when it's dry in third, which is a really weird issue because I've never had a tyre break traction so easily before. And my car's not powerful for the daily. It's only about 250 horsepower, so it's nothing crazy or amazing. My Vereda Steins, I could brake first. I couldn't break traction in second, sorry, and third was just like, well, nothing ever. So if it didn't go in second, it ain't gonna go in third. In the wet on the Vereda Steins, yes, I could potentially, if I'm on a slight turn, brake second gear traction, but other than that, it wasn't a massive problem. What else to talk about? The softness or jelliness, as I'm going to call it, is a concern because when you're cruising on the motorway, it will tend to just wobble around all the place. Like the sidewalls, because they're not stiff, they're finding things or something, but it's a problem because I can't enjoy the drive with them. I'm always trying to have to correct the tyres, and the tracking, as I said, is fine, and the tyres that came off before had no problems driving on the roads with it, so nothing had changed in that aspect. So why these have decided now, I'm purely basing on the fact that the sidewalls are just too soft. How they can get away with calling it an XL, I have no idea, because they're not an XL, and it's really, really annoying that no one has picked up on this, and they said that it's a great tyre. I'm really not happy with these tyres at all. If I could go back knowing this now, obviously I can't, but I would. I will say that if you do decide to change tyres, stick with something that you know and don't trial new tyres. I tried Nankang a while ago and on a different car, and it was only lightly drizzling, and yeah, I nearly lost the car on that because they just did not have any grip, so I just got rid of those straight away. I wasn't prepared to risk crashing a car just because of the tyres. So yeah, I will be sticking to Vereda Stein again, but what has happened now is I'm now going to change them back to my track day tyres a bit sooner. Normally I do this around end of March, but I'm getting towards the end of February and I just can't handle them anymore. They are so bad. I don't like driving on them. They're not fun. It's not like, okay, you can't say they're dangerous because they're tyres, they will hold you to the road, but I like to make sure that I feel safe with them. If I can't go around the roundabout, and I like corners, if I can't go around a roundabout and feel like they're actually going to grip, even coming on an off-ramp on the motorway, they just feel so weird. It's hard to describe without going into so many weird contexting on this. I just keep saying it's like jelly, because you just never know how it's going to react, and there's no reaction to it. It's like you turn and then it decides, oh, I'm probably gonna do some gripping in a sec. I'll do it right now. So yeah, let's start getting these wheels off. So with the tyres, how soft they are, you can also say that they're better for like impact resistance, because they'll help with potholes and uneven road surfaces. Fine if you're into that stuff, but I like to know what my car's doing all the time. I don't like the unpredictability. If the stiff wall tyre is going to cause a problem, I'd rather know what the problem is. I don't want it to cover up anything, and I like performance tyres. And I thought I was getting a performance tyre, but I guess I was wrong. So these are it. These are the Goodyears. Yeah. I don't know really what else to say on this. I'm not happy with them. I just basically went on reviews for this one and I lost out. It's not a tyre I will review as good in any way. They weren't cheap either. They were like 120 odd quid, or pounds if you're not in the UK. And these are Accelera 651 Sports. These are the 200 treadwear, not the 100s, because I do like to use them on the roads as well. And they're great on the road. I've used them for the last couple of years in the mostly summertime and getting towards the winter, and they've been absolutely fine. When the temperatures drop to about, I'd say, about 3 degrees above 0 Celsius, by the way, then they can become a little bit harder, so they will lose a bit more traction that way, which is another thing on the Goodyears. When I was running Vredesteins, I used to run them all winter, so it wouldn't matter, and they're meant to be a summer tyre as well. I would have no traction issues. I'd be confident that they'd still work. The grip wasn't as constant as it would be in summertime, obviously. Most tyres aren't. But I would still have no fear that it would do what it needed to do on the Vredestein. But the Goodyears, unless you're a bit above 10 degrees, which is quite high, and the UK, struggles to get like that temperature unless it's in pure summertime, you have no traction at all. It's really, really bad. So even if you're at 5 degrees and you think, oh, okay, it's nice, no, traction's not there. It's just not a good tyre. When they say it's summer, they mean it's a hot tyre. It needs warmth to be able to do grip and do something. Anything else below 10, I found that isn't actually very good at all. So keep that in mind, because temperatures does play a role. And I know they'll start saying, well, you used it when it's colder weather. It's actually meant to be a summer tyre. But regardless, I've used summer tyres all year round. There's no problem. The old Setentas from Vredestein, they had that really nice groove in it. I used to drop the PSI on those and I could grip through snow better than snow tyres could. It just worked really good. So, yeah, I've had to put these on because I'm sick with the crappy tyres. So putting the track tyres on a bit sooner. It is raining a bit more now, but there's no problems with that. And the only real issues with the Acceleras are the standing water. It doesn't like, obviously, standing water. What track tyres don't like, what track tyres do like standing water, unless it's specific water tyre. So yeah, I was coming off of the motorway the other day with the Goodyears, and it got to a dry patch, and then there's this one part which always has surface water. It's constant, because it's just after a bridge, so I think it drains off of that. And with the Goodyears, you'll still catch that, and your front end will just go light and it will float around. So the aquaplaning resistance on the Goodyears is still not great. So how they can say that it's I think it's grade A or grade B or whatever it was, so I really don't get how they can say that when I think they list the Vredesteins as grade D or something for that's going by memory, by the way, so don't quote me on that one, but I don't think they list the Vredesteins as a really high rain grip. I definitely know they don't do it for fuel rating, but I don't worry about the fuel rating. So yeah, bit waffling now, so I'll end it here because I need to talk these wheels up. So basically, if you do want to look at the Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport XLs, my advice, take a hard pass, go with something that's actually a true XL. If you have to go see the tyres in person, which actually should be what you should be doing, always feel the sidewall, because you'll feel if it's an actual XL or if they're just listing it as an XL. Let me bring these over here and I'll see if I can show you the soft sidewall. So XL, on a proper XL, you can't push in the side at all. It's impossible to do this on an XL. Look, I'll show you. Put that wheel down. So this is the Accelera, and this is an XL. You can't push that at all. It's rock solid, and that's how the Vredesteins were. But the Goodyears on an XL. So I'll probably talk to Goodyear and ask them why they list it as an XL when it's not an XL. Because that's quite deceiving, especially the fact that when someone wants to get a high performance tyre and they want the XL load or the extra load, they're not getting it, so they're mis-selling it basically. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I should do some more tyre reviews because I've used a few tyres and I do like the characteristics on some of them. It took me a while to even courage up the nerve to buy Acceleras. I hate trialing new tyres. It's a real big thing for me. I just tend to stick with what I know. I've used the Pirelli Trofeo R's. They're really good, obviously not great in the wear, but they're super good in summertime and dry weather, and they can work with a slightly colder temperature as well. They just need a bit more heat in them to work properly, but I still had faith in them. Even when it did rain, I had grip. That was on a car that was pushing a few more horsepowers, so I knew they worked. And they were more expensive, so trialing different things out sometimes wins, sometimes loses. But I hope this video has helped you avoid the Goodyears, because had I have seen a video like this before, I would not have bought the Goodyears. And everything that was online, which was actually very minimal on the Goodyear Super Sports, wasn't very helpful. And the tyre review places, you know, they're paid to sell a tyre in a way. Although they have their own, you know, we're reviewing a tyre, I don't feel they're quite as honest as they should be. They were talking about how the reaction was really good. I don't think the reaction is good. It's very delayed, it's very slow, some predictable reactions. When you turn a steering wheel, you want it to turn straight away, not roll over on its side because of the XL sidewall decides it's going to do that, and then like, oh, we'll grip now and we'll just turn the corner. So it's very, very delayed. So yeah, Anyway, that's the end of this. Let's call it a rant, shall we? And I'll try and bring some more videos on tyres eventually. So until then, thank you very much. So this is the Goodyear's XL sidewall. Now if you push, you can see it's flexing. So make sure it zooms so it focuses on that area. So when you push it, you can clearly see that it's bulging, and that's what happens when you go around a corner. Obviously this moves and then it's a problem, but when you get to an actual XL, there's no give on that sidewall. So that's the predictability that you're getting with the XL, which isn't what you get with the Goodyears. So yeah, that's what you want to be wary of. I like XLs, but they don't seem to want to give this as an XL. It even says XL extra load over there, but in my case it's a extra load of crap, because it's definitely not an XL. That hurts your thumb pushing that. Oh, gives you a bit of thumb ache. So that's just to show the XL difference between a real XL and a mimicking XL.